Welcome back for another YouTube update from the school district during the COVID-19 school closure. I'm joined today with BCHS Principal Adam Cox, and the two of us are going to go over some information with you. First, though, Mr. Cox, before I get started, both of us have some great news to share that we're really proud of several students at BCHS. We have some students who was selected for the 2020 Governor's Scholars Program for Kentucky, so I'd like to congratulate Sydney Jolly, Rhea Patel, Cameron Shaw, and Justin Winarski. And also, we have a young lady who was selected for GSA, the Governor's Scholars of Arts program for Kentucky for 2020, Miss Reese DeHaven. So we'd like to congratulate those kiddos for wonderful accomplishments. Real proud of you, and we wish you the best of luck moving forward. I'd like to go over a few things with you. First, I'd like to review the latest developments. I know that everybody obviously was disappointed yesterday with the news that in-person classes for the remainder of the school year were going to be closed and canceled. We'll continue with NTI assignments now until the end of the school year. Just as a reminder, as of right now, the last day of school is May the 13th. I want to make sure and let you know that ongoing conversations have taken place and will continue to take place about what is going to be happening over the next few weeks. I realize that now that it's final that we're not going to be coming back for in-person classes, there's a lot of questions about our class of 2020 graduation ceremony, eighth grade promotion, prom, and a lot of things like that. I just want to reaffirm that we are very committed to making sure that our kiddos have the most memorable experiences possible as they close out this school year. I'd like to ask everybody to remain patient with us as we go through the process of making these decisions. As everyone knows, we must follow CDC guidelines, especially social distancing. We have to follow the reopening plan for the state that's been developed in coordination with the federal government. Just as a reminder to everybody, this plan, if you haven't had a chance to check it out, you might want to do so. Phase 1 of the reopen only allows groups of 10 or less to congregate, and in phase 2 of the reopening, it only allows groups of 50 or less to congregate. So all the decisions that we make about some of these events, we're certainly going to have to keep those things in mind. But one thing I have learned is that rushed decisions do not always lead to the best outcomes. So we are going to take a few days. We're going to have in-depth conversations. I know Mr. Cox has some plans as well to get some input from students, and we're going to make the very best decisions we can to make sure that our kiddos have the very best memorable experiences possible. Some other things I'd like to talk with you about before I turn it over to Mr. Cox is NTI work. It's very important that our students complete their NTI assignments during the school closure. KDE reviews each day of NTI, and they look for several things: student participation, student work samples, and teacher contacts. So it's very important that this is getting done. If you have any questions about NTI, make sure that you reach out to your child's teacher or your child's school. As a reminder, this work does count as grades, so as you start to see some grades going in to your children's Infinite Campus accounts, if you have questions about that, again, reach out to your school, and I know that they'll be very willing to help you in any way possible. Some other things to point out: library books, things that we've been waiting to see if we were going to get to come back or not. Now that we know we're not going to have in-person classes, we can start turning in those library books, and we do have a lot of children with library books out in the district. So on Monday and Wednesdays, if you stop by to pick up meals at one of our feed sites, you can turn in your library books there. You can also turn in your library books on NTI designated turn-in days throughout the rest of the school year, but that's very important. And another thing to mention is each school in the district will be developing a plan for kiddos and parents to come by and pick up their child's belongings. We have a lot of lockers full of things, cubbies, so there's a lot of stuff to get picked up, and each school is going to develop a plan, and they'll be communicating that out to you very soon. With that being said, I'm going to turn it over to you, Mr. Cox, and let you talk about a few things. Go ahead, man.
All right, thanks, Dr. Carter. And just kind of reiterate a couple things you said. The news yesterday was heartbreaking to our kids, our parents, but it's also heartbreaking to many of us too. I know at the high school we have a great time with our students, 880 of them. Every day we share our lives with each other, and it's been empty the last month. And my heart just completely bleeds for this class of 2020. They are a very special group, and we are going to do everything possible to honor that class and provide them the best memories they can for the remainder of this school year. So I assure you that we've been in communication, and I'm working with the leadership team at the high school. We've got some meetings scheduled for today with some students via Google Hangout and Google Meet, that we're going to work with some students in our in that class to get their input. But again, we will make a decision that's going to be best for the class of 2020 at Breckinridge County High School and those students. So I give you our word on that. Also, some other things that Dr. Carter alluded to as well, that there's going to be some discussion that we've got to have at the high school with some key information: graduation, project grad, prom. Those are things that we want to be able to, that we're going to do all we can to have these events. Again, we've got to go by CDC guidelines. We've also got to go by recommendations from what happens in the next couple of weeks. So those are events that we're going to do all we can to have. But things like turning your textbooks in, calculators, library books, clean out your locker. We've got that question a lot. Turn in jerseys, turn in uniforms, band instruments. We're going to give some information out about that very soon on how to handle all that. We're going to work on some protocols and procedures to take place for us to be able to turn that stuff in. Caps and gowns is another question that I've been asked about. Some moms and parents and students are wanting to see if they can get their cap and gown, take some pictures. Completely understand that. I'm gonna work with our cap and gown provider, Herf Jones, and see if we can develop a process for that and provide that for you guys. And again, we will communicate that very well when we get that information. I do know of an event that we are going to go on and proceed to have, and we're going to have it virtually, and that's going to be our BCHS Senior Awards Night. That was scheduled for May 6th at 6 p.m., and we're going to go ahead and go on and proceed and have that event. That'll be a virtually held event, and that will just the name of our community community members that provided scholarships for all of our students. And it's a great ceremony, and we want to be able to give some positive information toward the end of the year and the amount of money some of our students receive to go to college. So that will go ahead, that will proceed. And just to kind of follow up on a little bit of the NTI information that Dr. Carter talked about earlier as well, the high school, you can drop off or pick up at the high school every day, Monday through Friday from 8:30 to 3. You will have to ring the doorbell or call ahead to get your packets or turn work in. But we are available outside every day of a district-wide drop-off day. Those days you can also take to the local elementary school, so you don't have to drive all the way into Harned, so you can take advantage of that. We do ask that if you're going to Ben Johnson, Custer, or Irvington to pick up your packets, that you make sure you go to our website and order packets ahead of time so we can have those sitting there for you. And you can always call the high school if you've got any questions about that or how to use that. I know some individuals had difficulty with the internet. We don't mind a bit to order those for you. Also, we're here to help you. All of our teachers are daily making phone calls, Google Meets, and available for every student. If you have questions or concerns, please don't hesitate to call us, email me. I'll get you in touch with the person you need to talk to. All of our teacher emails can be found on our school website. On the far left side, it says school staff. You can click on that. It's got a link to every teacher email. Please utilize that. I also encourage you to encourage each child in our school to look at their student email. I know we have a lot of teachers that are emailing daily out to students, so be sure you check your student email if you're able to. You're doing a great job. We're looking at the numbers every day, and I'm amazed at how well we're turning work in. So I really appreciate the hard work, the dedication that you all are showing. It really doesn't surprise me. We have a champion attitude every day in the school, so it doesn't surprise me that you've taken that champion attitude home and you're knocking out your NTI work. And I couldn't be prouder to lead this school and to the high school, and it couldn't be prouder to be a part of this district for everything that we're doing from the top to the bottom. I watch our district leadership every day out making trips around visiting kids, delivering food. I watch our teachers at the high school and teachers at our elementary schools doing all they can to make sure they're there and available for kids. We've got teachers emailing me at 9:30, 10 o'clock at night that they're talking to a student at that time. So, I mean, they're going above and beyond to help everybody out. Students emailing with suggestions, ideas, questions, concerns. I love it. And great feedback from parents every day with questions, concerns, ideas, suggestions. So, again, couldn't be prouder to be a Tiger at this time. I know it's difficult, but we're going to make it through this. That's what champions do. So I'll leave it there with me. So if you have any questions or concerns, feel free to reach me at the high school anytime. Thank you, Dr. Carter.
Thank you, Mr. Cox. I know this is tough, We're going to get through this together, as Mr. Cox said. We're committed to making sure that our students have the best experience possible allowed. And, in a time of uncertainty for all of us, this is a tough time. I want to encourage all of us to remain positive and look to the good we have in our lives. We have our family, we have our health, we have each other. And we have fellow Breckinridge Countyans who unfortunately have had to experience COVID-19, but to my knowledge, they've all recovered or are doing well. And that is something we can all be thankful for, excuse me, for those fellow Breckinridge Countyans. Our great community is facing the COVID-19 battle head on, and we're winning. And together, we will remain Breck strong. Thank you for tuning in.